To the beautiful woman who's felt that you've been misunderstood, that you've had to hide all your light, who sees your beauty as shame, burden, curse, or something to hide, who holds back because you're afraid to appear arrogant, fear sharing your intellectual wins because people might doubt your capabilities. After all, beautiful women aren't supposed to be intelligent, who feels that you smile too much to avoid people mistreating you, and even when you smile a lot, feel like you're selling yourself short because beautiful women are supposed to be cold, untouchable goddesses that men throw themselves at. But you and I know that's untrue because you've been mistreated by a lot of women unjustly. You doubt even the men actually care about you. All that pain, all that burden, all that expectations, it's exhausting. You sometimes don't even feel comfortable to leave your home because all eyes are on you. The weight of the attention, the projection, the energy, the expectations can be daunting. You might not even be an extrovert. You just want to look good without the added attention. Well, I'm here to relieve that burden. Be patient and will handle everything. As a woman who's considered beautiful and didn't even realize that until I came into this country, I tortured myself my entire 20s, all while experiencing every single thing I just described to you. Help is here because this ends today. This video was inspired by Evelyn House. The broad spectrum of the ideas are from him, but have been expanded upon based on my own lived experiences. We'll go over the PDCCS framework: presence, dignity, compassion, clarity, and sovereignty. It will help ground yourself, liberate you of the weight, and begin to utilize your beauty to live out the life you've always wanted. Let me be clear. It's not a crime to leverage your beauty. It's not something to feel ashamed of, apologize, or even hide. I'm going to show you how to express your beauty with intention and integrity, how to live freely, fully, and liberated. Your beauty is a gift from God, and like all gifts, must be used for His glory. Matthew 5:16 says, "Let your light shine before others, so they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." We'll talk about the 3 reasons why shifting your mindset is essential and the benefits that come along with it. How to stay on track even on days you feel like shrinking yourself again, moments where you want to hide so that others will feel comfortable. We'll touch upon all of that. I'm Dr. Princess, Farm D. New videos every Thursday. Let's get into it, beautiful woman. Presence. The goal is to help ground you in the moments of anxiety. As a beautiful woman, it's inevitable you'll be stared at. From the moment you step out of your home, all eyes are on you. And that's a lot to carry. The moments when you walk down the street, sit in class, walk into the restaurant, or even at a business meeting. The easiest thing to do is to dissociate. As the weight of the stairs rise, you run away from your body. This isn't just casual staring. When people look at you, they're projecting their innermost, most sensitive thoughts and desires. It's the older man looking at you, wondering the wife he never had. It's his wife looking at you with envy, wondering, had I had those legs, oh, the kind of life I would have lived. It's men of all ages, class, creed, or stratification ogling at you openly. That's a lot to carry. So you disconnect, abandon yourself. Issue is when you leave your body, so does your power. You become a flailing rag in the wind that is easily distracted, shaken, or moved. Many would say, oh, poor you, you're so pretty, you can't handle the attention. I wish I had that problem. But they've never walked in your shoes. Just like I've never walked in your shoes being an ugly, average, or not so beautiful woman. Instead of absorbing all that energy, all that projections, envy, tension, dispel them and turn inwards. When I go out now, I plant my feet firmly on the ground, slow my breath, relax my shoulders, my face, my jaw. I tell myself, I am here, I am present, I am safe. And many might say, this is too much to do. Well, how much do you want peace? This is how you ground yourself so you don't feel anxious leaving your home. So you don't avoid things you love to do just because of the weight of the attention. Yes, it's sad because no one told you this. Not your mother, not your father, not your brother, not your sister, no one. Because what are they going to tell you? That being beautiful is going to come with pressure. All that privilege will come with responsibility and weight of assumptions. People projecting on you. No one's going to tell you that. One of the things I love to do is to dress up. Being Nigerian is something we always did. Having lived in America for 10 years where everyone dresses like a hobo and the fear of doing too much, I lost that. Now at 30, I tell myself something different. It's only a matter of time till you lose all of this. I might as well enjoy it. Now, when I dress up and go out, I practice presence. Dignity is liberating yourself from the weight. You have to understand when people respond to you, it has very little to do with you. It's not how much they hate, like you, or even envy you. It's simply a projection of their shadows. When you receive attention from men, women, or the world at large, it's your nervous system responding to something beautiful, calming, and powerful. Your brain says, stay close to it. In the presence of beauty, the reward system is activated, particularly the medial orbitofrontal cortex. Dopamine is released, pleasure is reinforced, and so is attention. That same response also signifies power, and whether you acknowledge it or not, we live in a currency-based society. Wealth is currency. Strength is currency. Youth is currency. Intellect is currency. And so is beauty. So naturally, it shifts rooms. Picture this. You walk into an office meeting. Suddenly, the room goes silent. The air becomes thinner. Some women are inspired. Others, not so much. They may feel threatened. For someone who's always thrived on power, dominance, or any other form of currency, who haven't dealt with their shadow, they might seek to offload that uneasiness on you. Now, this is the time dignity comes in. Dignity is internal. The honor you give to yourself. It does not beg for respect, shrink for others to feel comfortable, and you don't have to dim your intellect, femininity, and presence. You just have to stand tall like a lighthouse. Some ships arrive safely to the dock. Others will crash into the lighthouse, blaming you for the distraction. In any case, your job is to hold your bearing. I'll show you how to do so with sovereignty later on. I'll give you an example of what a crash looks like in real life. Not too long ago, I dressed up. Here's the image. Feeling good, I stepped out, pausing just for a brief moment to take a picture, making sure I stood to the left side. Suddenly I hear, excuse me, with so much aggression. I turn around and it's this small woman, her husband right next to her. And instantly I clocked it. She had enough space to go by, but chose to be mean. Even her husband was signaling, you have space on the right, why do you have to go on the left side where she is? It wasn't about space, but projection. Maybe insecurities, or maybe I thought her husband were looking at my legs. So I did exactly what I had to do, because otherwise I would have ruminated on what I should have said, could have said, or maybe even shrunk myself for the rest of the day because of that interaction. I said to her, you don't have to be a see you next Tuesday. You had ample space. She said nothing because she knew. Many would say just ignore it. But after years of and people just messing with me and probably you for the sake of being beautiful, there gets to a point where enough is enough. Clarity is about seeing things as they are, not as they appear, because appearances can be deceiving. You have to imprint this into your head. Attention does not always equal genuine care for you. If you don't understand this, you may find yourself in confusing situations, heartbreaks that could have been avoided, or worse, dangerous situations. Let me be clear. Just because a man showers you with attention, gifts, or even consistency and commitment doesn't really mean he sees you fully. Often they may see what you represent: status, success, validation, dare I say even arm candy. Some men prefer a partner, others want an accessory. And yes, not everyone can get a Jamie Fraser. I know, but at least you can know what you're getting into. I can tell you many times I have struck up a conversation with a man. At first, everything goes perfectly because I'm oftentimes, I would say, friendly, and some might even say flirtatious. But as the conversations deepen and I begin to express the depth of my knowledge in human nature, business, vision, psychology, I can see a twinkle just go off in their eyes where they're like, oh crap, she actually has a brain. And some recede. And that's okay. My uncle once says, a lot of men want a beautiful, stupid wife. Beauty is great, but beauty with intelligence, I don't want someone who's going to argue with me. He wants someone he can come home to and feels like he's teaching her something. And again, that's okay if that's the woman you want to be, because there are a lot of women who want to be that way. You just have to know what you truly want. Now let's talk about women, because their friendships aren't always genuine. In every city I've visited, London, Dubai, Mallorca, wherever, younger women tend to gravitate towards me, especially in social settings. Oftentimes it's because they admire you, they want access to your energy, your network, or dare I say the male gaze trickling effect, which I'm okay with because we all have mooched off of something or someone at some point in our lives. But one thing that I despise is those ones who befriend you for the sole purpose of subtly and quietly undermine you. I think that one is insidious. That's the scary one. And you need to listen up because this is very important. Last year I met a woman, and at very first sight, she was like, "Oh my God, I love you. We need to be friends." And she was super hard about that. And I thought, I know I'm cool, but not that cool. Nevertheless, I gave her an opportunity. But then it seemed like every time we would converse, she would try to mute my desires. For instance, when I share my vision and my business ideas, she would say things like, "Wow, you're so ambitious. I just don't want you to be brokenhearted with all these ambitions you have." When I say things like, "Oh, I'm an INFJ. I actually enjoy spending a lot of time on my own at home." And she would say, "Before I got married, I was so depressed. I was lonely. So you don't have to pretend if you're depressed and lonely. Like, you can tell me, you can call me." I'm like, "I'm actually not depressed and lonely." So it seems to me that she was trying to cajole me to admitting to feeling sad or less than. Now, I don't know if it was just a projection of her own shadow or a deliberate way to break down my self-esteem. But either way, I didn't wait around to find out. As a beautiful woman, you must learn not to be paranoid, but discerning of people and their intentions towards you. Compassion, the power of the gift. To whom much is given, much is expected. Luke 12:48. I've spent the last several minutes talking about the woes of being beautiful. And we all know it's not all thorns. As a matter of fact, comes with a lot of perks and privileges, which we must recognize and utilize accordingly. I've learned that when people have varied responses to us, it's often their nervous system seeking for some form of relief. They see beauty as something calming, warming, soothing, maybe even motherly, and just want to be near the light. Instead of always reacting protectively, defensively based on our previous experiences, we could choose compassion and offer them that relief that they're seeking through us. It could be something as simple as a smile, compassion, reassurance. You'd be surprised how much impactful that could be. As an INFJ, empathy is my baseline. Having a narcissistic mother conditioned me to even be more attuned to people's pain, fears, and deepest yearnings. My home history could have made me hard, yet it turned me into a healer. Hence, I do what I do. I truly believe God has a reason for all he does. The fact that I have beauty, which is healing, empathy through INFJ and family history, and an innate obsession for philosophy, human nature, actualization. Now, couple all of that with my organized training as a PharmD. It means that God has positioned me perfectly to do exactly what I'm doing here today on YouTube. Piecing together every knowledge, every experience, every concept like a woven tapestry, distilling them into meaning and helping teach women around the world to see and understand themselves better. I believe God gives this level of power, influence over rooms, men, systems, environment to those who have been refined by the most pain, because he knows we will yield it correctly. And this is why you must utilize your gift, particularly your beauty. Just like the intellect leverage their intelligence to persuade, their strength to triumph and entertain, you too must find a way to leverage your beauty towards the advancement of a worthy ideal and hopefully help others along the way. That is why I make it a point to compliment a woman who looks good or who dares to do something outside of the ordinary, because as someone who has been perpetually an outlier, I know what it feels like to be different. So be compassionate to others and yourself. Now, the last but not the least, we're going to discuss sovereignty. And I'm going to read this to you. To be sovereign is to be the supreme ruler of your life. For the beautiful woman, sovereignty is a radical reclamation of your power in all facets of your life. It's moving away from external validation to internal resonance. It's the courage to step away from the shadows, to pursue your dreams, to express your sensuality, your femininity, your vulnerability, and brilliance. It's taking ownership of your voice at home, at work, in friendships and relationships. And don't forget, business. It's leading not through sheer force, but rather through authentic expression of your being. Sovereignty means creating boundaries without feeling bad, having courage to love, laugh, heal, cry. It's about accepting the good and bad parts of you, all while patiently working to improve them. Everything I've shared with you today boils down to sovereignty. It's not about challenging the status quo for the sake of being a feminist or a work person, but moving from a place driven by the pursuit of your destiny. As I mentioned, you are the lighthouse. So shine brightly, my friend, and be sovereign. Why it's important to develop this new mindset, the PDCCS mentality we just discussed. 1, to relieve yourself of the psychological burden of what others think about you and the mental anguish that comes with it. 2, the psychological release in turn gives you courage to express yourself fully and authentically, thereby embarking on your true desires, leading to a personal and professional fulfillment. And finally, expressing your authentic self means you give room for people who actually love you for who you are to come into your life and co-create with you. The PDCCS framework is the ultimate masterclass on life transformation for you as a beautiful woman. There'll be moments where you doubt yourself because guess what? You're a human. That's why I have these 3 anecdotes. 1 is affirmation, meditations, and visualizations. This will help you program your subconscious mind into expressing more of this new woman you're becoming. 2, enactment and action, because heaven helps those who help themselves. Through daily application of these concepts we just discussed, you will strengthen your resolve, confidence, and become this new woman. And with time, it will become second nature. And finally, you will need patience and kindness to yourself, because just like everything in life needs time, this too will require time to perfect. Click the video right here to learn about people who never quit and how to become like them. I'm Dr. Princess. I'll see you next Thursday.